Joining us now to talk more about all of this is former senior Clinton advisor, Stagwell Group president, and author of Microtrends Squared, Mark Penn. Mark, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Give us your reaction to the results last night, and then I want to ask you about the leadership change. What does it mean for the current investigations that we've been covering so closely, the DOJ and the FBI investigations?
Well, it is an unprecedented split decision, but I think the voters administered rough justice. I mean, I think the Republicans in Congress had about a 13% approval rating. Ryan muffed health care. I think they were angry at the Republicans in Congress. 40 of them even quit. And I think in the Senate, you had the opposite happen. The Democrats went too far in Kavanaugh, and the voters said, you know what? I don't want the Democrats in the Senate. I want the Democrats in the House. And the voters, I think, got exactly what they want.
How does this play out in your view? What happens now?
Well, I think nobody expected much was going to happen in the 2 years running up to this next presidential election, and nothing much is going to happen. And I think, though, that the investigations are going to play themselves out, because I think on the one hand, the Mueller report is going to come down, and they can now deliver it in the hands of Democrats. But an impeachment with this kind of Senate is a pointless exercise, and Democrats will realize that. On the other hand now, Trump can go ahead and appoint a new attorney general and maybe get a second independent counsel to go investigate the investigators, which everybody else has wanted to do. Yeah. And so that greatly changes the dynamic. Hey, the Trump White House has been more investigated already than anyone ever was, so the House is not going to give him new
but first things first, Nancy, there are more than 50 Democrats in the House who said, I will not vote for Nancy Pelosi. So what happens in that speaker's race? And then also you have, you know, the whip and the other leadership races in the Democratic side of the aisle.
So before you answer that, there was one individual who definitely voiced an interest in having the speaker role. That's Congressman Tim Ryan. He joined me on Sunday, and I asked him about running for speaker and unseating Nancy Pelosi. Watch this. After the 2016 election, you wanted to unseat Nancy Pelosi to become Speaker of the House. Are you running for Speaker of the House this time?
We got a couple more days. There are a number of candidates that are having conversations, that are talking about running. I will say it's not going to be a coronation. Somebody is going to run for leadership. I think it's important that we have this discussion and have this conversation. I think the American people want to change. I think a lot of Democrats want to change. Right. And so we're going to have that discussion starting on Wednesday. And let's hope we're having a conversation about Speaker of the House and not leader of the minority party in Congress. But there's a lot of conversations happening right now. People from across the country, different candidates, different demographics who are talking about running for that leadership.
Mark, what do you think?
I think Pelosi's going to be the Speaker of the House. I think she won. I think her hand's strengthened by a larger California delegation. But I think she's going to serve a year. I think she already signaled, hey, give me my victory lap. I will turn this over in a year. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
Were you surprised how close it is in Arizona with McSally just narrowly has a narrow lead? I mean, that is a red state that to have a force coming in that could be blue is really telling, especially into the 2020 election.
Same thing with Texas.
Same thing with Texas, but I'm more surprised.
Same thing with Florida.
I'm more surprised by this because think about you had Flake, you had John McCain. I mean, this was always a red state, and it never was this close from my recollection.
Yeah, look, I think this was an election which Democrats got their voters out and Republicans got their voters out, and certain places that have changed somewhat are closer. They didn't turn hands. I think, look, the president's looking at the Electoral College this morning and he's saying, you know, Florida and Ohio, I got the Ohio governorship, I got the Florida governorship, I still have in pretty good position, maybe I got Florida Senate, pretty good Electoral College position, but not very good position in terms of the popular vote. The popular vote here clearly went overwhelmingly Democratic. It was a switch. Not as bad as 1994 or 2010. The president says, hey, look, I actually come out with more respect this morning as a legitimate president, having gained in the Senate, than I had the day before. And Democrats at least come home with, I said we were going to get the House and we got it. Everybody's a winner.
In terms of the number breakdown, nearly all Democrats, 95% of them, voted blue. Republicans didn't quite have that edge. 91% of Republicans went red. That's a problem. The difference ended up being independents, 9-point Democratic edge among independents. So these are things that everybody's going to be looking at, these numbers, figuring out in 2 years, how do you fix that?
But you put your hands on it. There is a Republican Trump women's problem that was huge, and it's growing, and it came out. Trump held the working class, lost the suburban women. I think the Democrats have been very successful at getting back one of the two constituencies that were really pivotal to Trump. The next one, depending upon who the candidate is in 2020, may be up for grabs.